All right, today we're diving into a spiritual text that's going to flip a huge assumption about enlightenment completely on its head. So get ready, because we're about to challenge some of the oldest ideas you've ever heard about what it really means to find awakening. So let's just kick things off with a big question. You've probably heard this a million times, right? To get enlightened, you have to run away from the world. Escape its temptations, its noise, all its messy desires. But what if that's just wrong? What if the real path isn't about escaping the world at all, but about diving into it deeper than you ever thought possible? And boom, here it is. This is the core idea that's going to anchor our entire exploration today. It's telling us that real spiritual growth happens right in the middle of life's chaos, not by hiding from it. So let's see how this actually works. Okay, so our guide on this journey is a guy named Sudana. Now, don't think of his journey as some quiet meditation retreat. It's more like he's gaining high-level admin access to a whole new suite of spiritual powers. It's a total reversal of what we'd normally expect. And just look at what's in this toolkit. We're talking about practical, real-world skills. He can instantly understand any language, like some kind of AI. He can see the hidden logic behind everything. He's got this incredibly powerful engine for compassion and motivation. And yeah, he can even start to tweak the fabric of reality itself. This isn't about reading books. It's about activating a whole new way of being. So, Sudama gets all these incredible abilities. Now what? Where does he go to practice them? Well, this is where the teaching gets really, really radical. He goes to the exact places we're always told to avoid. The world itself, and all its messiness, becomes his personal training ground. And check this out. It perfectly illustrates the point. One of Sudana's first teachers is a courtesan named Vasumitra. I mean, the common view is pretty clear. Stay away from her. She'll just stir up your greed. But the hidden truth? She's actually an enlightened master, and her teaching method is literally called freedom from desire. She shows us that desire itself isn't the problem. It's our attachment to it that gets us stuck. So how in the world does she do it? Well, you can think of her method as a kind of anti-desire algorithm. For anyone who comes to her, every single act that would normally crank up desire, seeing her, touching her, even embracing and kissing her, actually becomes a trigger for detachment. It's incredible. She literally hijacks the engine of desire and uses it as a tool for awakening. Okay, you ready for another bombshell? Sudana's next teacher, a layman named Vistira, drops this absolute mind bender. Now, parinirvana is usually understood as the final exit, when a Buddha passes away for good. But Vistira says, nope, that never actually happens. So what does he mean by that? He's basically shattering our neat, linear idea of time. He teaches that enlightened beings don't just vanish, they're always here. What we see as a birth or a death is just a performance, a display put on for our benefit. The reality is, past, present, and future are all happening at once. Enlightenment isn't a finish line. It's a constant, timeless presence. Now, these lessons from the courtesan and the layman, they aren't just random encounters. You've got to see them as core components of a complete operating system for a bodhisattva. That's an enlightened being who sticks around to help everyone else. Let's take a quick look at the whole toolkit. And here it is. I mean, wow. On top of transforming desire and mastering time, this OS includes the ultimate compassion of Guanyin, the power to spread positive influence like wildfire, the wisdom to manage resources, unshakable confidence, and even the ability to rescue people from the absolute darkest pits of despair. But the real heart of this entire operating system is what's called great compassion, which is embodied by Guanyin. And this shows us that true spiritual power isn't about being separate or above it all. It's the skill to actively enter anyone's world, become just like them, and help them in a way they can actually hear and accept. That's the ultimate connection. Okay, that was a lot. We've covered some pretty complex, mind-bending stuff. So let's bring it all home and distill it down into 3 really powerful takeaways that we can apply to how we see our own lives. First, and this one is probably the most radical, desire is not the enemy. Just like the courtesan Vasumitra showed us, if we approach it with awareness, the very things we're told to run from can become the doorways to real freedom. It's not about killing desire. It's about changing our relationship to it. Second, the enlightened never really leave. That lesson from the layman Vinsira about time, It gives us this deeply comforting way to look at things. The cycles of birth and death we see are just what's happening on the surface. The true nature of things is a constant, unending, enlightened presence. And finally, the ultimate ability, the real superpower, isn't some abstract power, it's compassion. Guan Yin shows us that the peak of spiritual achievement, the truest measure of strength, is having the courage and the skill to meet people exactly where they are, to enter their world and to genuinely help. So, I'll leave you with this. If we actually take this ancient wisdom seriously, if the world isn't some obstacle we have to escape, but is actually the perfect training ground, then what challenge, what person, or what desire in your life, right now, is just waiting to be your next great teacher?